All right, greetings, everyone. It is Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. We are live again. Before we get started, as we always do, a couple of announcements. Tour, April 21st through the 30th. We are going to Sierra Leone. Join us. It's for Sierra Leone's Independence Day celebration. So we're going to be there. Tour dates, April 21st through the 30th. So if you want to roll, come and roll with us. Come be a part of this great experience, everyone. Also, make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Again, go to dynastymirror.com. And listen, there's 82,000 of you all who are subscribed. 82,000. With that being said, I should have sold 82,000 books. All right. You guys need to go out there and buy some books. All right. 82,000 of these should have been sold. 82,000. All right. At least, I'm putting me and my sister Gina, African Superstar, we're putting out tangible products for you guys to support and buy. Okay. Support Black media. So go to dynastymirror.com, get your shirts, get your books. Also join the email list. Again, join the email list so you guys can stay up to date in regards to what's going on with Dynasty Mirror, the brand. Like, share, subscribe. Again, like, share, and subscribe to the content, you guys. We would really appreciate your support. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. Okay, so hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Okay, and then become a Patreon. Oh, let me get the banner going. Become a monthly Patreon, everybody. Patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Again, we don't have the CBS, NBC, TNT, TBS, BET, MTV, all the T's and the V's. We don't have their budget. So again, there's 82,000 of you all. Put up $1, put up 50 cents. Go buy some products. Go do that. Go to dynastymirror.com. Go do that, and go to patreon.com. Search for Uhuru. Everybody, without further ado, we have our sister on with us today, the African superstar. Black love or stay single.
Man, Dinah, that?
No, show it's here. My bad. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's here. The shirt is here. So today's topic, so the Breonna Taylor case. And guys, this is the reality. A lot of you guys are upset. But number one, when Benjamin Crump comes calling, y'all know what time it is, man. It's settlements over justice. So why are you guys surprised with the outcome? I mean, seriously. I mean, let's have an adult conversation here. Let's have an adult conversation. When Benjamin Crump shows up and he gets on the podium, we gonna get justice. We gonna get justice. We gonna make sure to get justice. It's not gonna happen. The settlement is coming. So why are we surprised? And then also too, this is a first time ever in a case that the settlement was reached before the grand jury decision. So this is what happened. I'm not a lawyer. In fact, if you're a lawyer and if you're watching this, all right, we're going to open up the lines in about 25 to 30 minutes. Just because you win a settlement has nothing to do with criminal case. African Moore, I want you to call in. But I really want a lawyer to call in, okay? I want a lawyer to call in. Because again, this is a first where a settlement was reached before the grand jury decision. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to tell you what happened, because I've talked to lawyers before in the past on my own personal cases, whether, with not illegal, not criminal cases. I'm just saying cases in general, all right? Not criminal cases. I'm not a criminal. I'm just saying cases in general. Like when I I had gotten a car accident, and I was my neck and my back, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. You know,
Settlement.
So yeah, I've dealt with settlement before. So I'm Bishop McCrump. Hey, Miss Taylor. You know, I mean, I got all the evidence. You know, I got the evidence. It looks like, I mean, we can try to fight this thing, but let's take. You know, I talked to the people at the Louisville police office. I talked to the DA. I talked to the Attorney General, and so they are willing, Miss Taylor. They are willing to give you $12 million, which is great. I mean, this is a great settlement. Now you'll get $12 million, but you'll give me 7 of that coming to me for my fees, 6 to 7. But I'm gonna give y'all $12 million. And then, you know, they're gonna do what they can do. You know, they're gonna have the grand jury to do what they do. But we're gonna get $12 million, which is unprecedented for a black life. You know, you got Miss Taylor. Yes, your daughter was lost, but you get $12 million for that, which is unprecedented. You know, at least you get $12 million. Now, I because of the evidence, I can't guarantee that you're gonna get justice. You know, I'm gonna have to charge you another $5 million out of your settlement to take this thing to trial. So there go your $12 million, Miss Taylor. So the best thing I could do is give you $12 million, and we're gonna get on the podium. We're gonna talk about Black Lives Matter. We're gonna talk about how we're gonna make the change. We're gonna get Al Sharpton, you know, Jesse Jackson. They gonna come, and you know, we're gonna tell them how we're gonna fight the system and how we're gonna change the system. I've been here before. I specialize in this. I'm Bishop McCrump. I specialize in this. So we're gonna get up, Dog Pony Show. We're gonna be mad. We're gonna bang on the microphone. We're gonna bang on the podium and say how we're gonna get justice and how the $12 million is, you know, is how we moving forward in America because a black life that was killed. And you know, and I first see it back in the day. See, Miss Taylor, back in the day, Miss Taylor, we would have got only $50,000. But see, we didn't upped it to $12 million. We didn't upped it. So we gonna tell people how we are moving forward and how we are, you know, changing the laws and the books and how we got changed. And now we get more money now for when black lives are lost. Now I can't guarantee they'll go to jail. I can't even guarantee there's gonna be a case or even go to court. But at least we got $12 million, Miss Taylor. Go ahead and sign right here, Miss Taylor. Here's my pen right here. Go ahead and sign right here, Miss Taylor. Sign right here, Miss Taylor. That you're gonna take the $12 million. But remember, Miss Taylor, you gotta give me $5 million. You're gonna give me $5-6 million. That comes back to me. The $5-6 million. So, Miss Taylor, like I said, Miss Taylor, I mean, this is a hell of a deal. This is a hell of a deal, Miss Taylor. This is a hell of a deal. I mean, we don't get. You know, again, we're gonna have the press conference tomorrow. So you're gonna sign today. We're gonna have the press conference. It's gonna be tomorrow. We're gonna get up there. I'm gonna have Al Sharpton. I'm gonna have Black Lives Matter. They're gonna be all at the podium. I'm going to bang on the podium and tell them how this right here proves how we are moving forward. How we are moving forward. How we are fighting the injustice system, how we are fighting the injustice system. See, we are fighting the injustice system, and now, like I said, this is unprecedented because you know not too long ago you just would have got about $5,000, but now you are getting $12 million. So go ahead and sign right here, Miss Taylor, and we'll have the press conference tomorrow. You know, go ahead and take a settlement because, like I said, I can't guarantee you ain't gonna win the criminal case, but at least you don't get $12 million. I'm gonna get my cut though. I'm gonna get my cut, but you don't get some money. And then I think Al Sharpton gonna get his cut. You know, Al Sharpton had that protest in Washington D.C. That cost money, so we gotta pay Al Sharpton. You know, Jesse Jackson, he automatically get a percentage just because it's Jesse Jackson. He the godfather. So we going to pay him. We got to pay Black Lives Matter. We're going to just send them some money. So go ahead and sign him, Miss Taylor. Sign right here, and then we're gonna. Okay, thank you, Miss Taylor.
Were you there, Dynast?
I don't have to be there. I know how this goes down. I don't have to be there.
Man, it's indeed like what you said. You know, the hamster wheel. So we actually just talked about this on my channel about, you know, what are the real options, because it's very, very blatant that this cycle is redundant. You know, it's sad, it's unfortunate, but at this point, you kind of have to take some strategic steps to avoid becoming the next victim. You know, in this case, you know, she wasn't even in direct contact with the police. You know, she just happened to be a victim of circumstance at the wrong place at the wrong time, which was her home. And
Jenna, can I interject? Man, I don't want to ruffle feathers. Have you like studied the whole case?
I haven't really studied it to the max. I did see the press conference where they had that black gentleman kind of, it was from today, where he was talking about the verdict, how they couldn't determine who, you know, sent the fatal shot and all this stuff. So they gave him some other kind of, you know, lightweight charges, but not charges of actually killing her.
Right, but have you seen even before the raid, I guess the raid or whatever, have you seen the whole case?
No, go ahead and tell me about it, Dinah.
I mean, I'm trying not to make people too angry, but it's just, how can I put this?
All I know,
I say this, Jimmy. You have to watch the company you keep. I kind of leave it like that.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
I mean, I just kind of keep it like that. But it's just what I've started doing, because it seems like with these police killings, it's no justice, settlement, forgive. So instead of getting overly emotional, I kind of said, okay, let me go look at what happened, like what's going on, and why they even had a warrant in the first place or got approval to kick in the door. It's just, it's kind of like
the boyfriend up to no good?
It wasn't even just the boyfriend.
Oh, her too? I see. But still,
and I'm not saying what happened is deserved, but it's just kind of like,
right. But I mean, the bottom line is that they are supposed to neutralize the situation. You know what I mean? They're not supposed to be judge and jury. They're supposed to go, if they're going with a warrant, they're supposed to apprehend the you know, the criminals or whatnot, or the people accused. They're supposed to go and, you know, take them through due process and stuff like that.
True.
So, you know, you can't just come in blazing. And I mean, I think again, I don't know all the details like you probably know, more than I do at least. But I know I would be startled if somebody burst into my house in the middle of the night, you know, especially True. If they were, you know, if they lived, you know, were into some other kind of things. They may have thought it was a, you know, break-in or something, not realizing that.
It's in the mainstream. Like all the, like everything, like the evidence, the case, the build-up, you know, her renting a car that a body was for somebody to, you know, all that's out there, bro.
Well,
but
you know, the fact still remains. I mean, the fact still remains. I don't care. You know, like it's still not how it's supposed to go. Like, you're not supposed to do that. And if it were white, you know, criminals, it would have went down differently.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like that's what we talk about, the hamster wheel.
Yeah, that, you know, because,
like I mean, like everybody's in the chat room. Okay, what you gonna do and all that? Like, I mean, it's the hamster wheel. Like,
well, we I mean, us,
right?
Like him and I, we already know what we do.
Right.
I don't know what y'all going to do, but we already came to the conclusion that it's time to get our Africa plan on at the end of the day. I know some people, you have a varied platform on this, but some people here, they don't want to entertain the option of Africa at all, and they want to try to find some solutions in the West. And I don't really know any viable solutions because, like you said, it's the hamster wheel. We keep doing the same thing. Um, and the reality is, like, there's even just a resistance to us even saying Black Lives Matter or us trying to assert, our place in society. There's a resistance from that, like they're giving us every indication that as long as we remain and as long as we have been in this environment, it's going to be contentious. It's going to be perpetually challenging for us. And, somebody actually put on my Facebook, and it was very profound. It said, some people just love the struggle. They
Right.
can't envision a life without it. They don't really want a life without it. So they're just used to that, the cycle. Okay, somebody gets killed, fake outrage, protests, the people get acquitted, and then it's that same thing over and over and over again, regardless of the evidence, regardless of videos. Don't be surprised with this whole George Floyd thing. I mean, the whole country had to, basically riot and have protests for days before they even wanted to charge these people, where it was on video, like everything that happened,
Hold
So
on, hold on, African Moore. I want you to call in and tell me something what I'm missing, African Moore. Here's
let's
the
see
email. I mean, we're gonna open up the lines. Well, go ahead and continue, Jenna, because I mean,
yeah,
you're
no,
the guest.
no,
So we're gonna go ahead and open up the lines. But I'm just saying, it's time to. And I'm not saying there are situations where innocent, young Black men and women
have
are
been
gunned
affected.
down by the police. But at the same time, there's a lesson in this, and that lesson is you need to watch the company you keep. Period. And then and then outside of that, realizing the situation that we're in here in America, like you have to carry yourself a certain way. You can't be involved in certain activities. Why can't we have that mature conversation?
I mean, I agree with you, Darnus. I mean,
I'm not saying she deserved that, but again, when you're doing
right.
certain
I mean,
things, when you're involved with certain individuals,
yeah, you can
you put yourself at risk. You put
heighten
yourself at a bigger risk. We're already Black here in America. Sorry, Jennifer, cutting you off. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But even we're already Black in America, right? We already know what time it is being Black in America.
Right.
So with that being said, you need to be on your P's and Q's. You need to realize that you are at war or a prisoner behind enemy lines, and there's a certain code of conduct you need to have. Hanging around with a certain type of people increases your chances of getting into some stuff. Period. I don't understand why we can't have this adult conversation. If it was my daughter or my son, I would have this conversation with them. But for some reason, where we're not attached directly to this person, as far as a family member, we start getting emotional. But when it's our kids, our family members, our friends, I have the same conversation with Jenna. If I saw Jenna was hanging out with somebody who was suspect, I'm going to tell her that's my sister. Now, if she continues to do that, that's on her. And at the same time, Jenna knows she's an adult. She knows right from wrong. She knows that that person is no good and that person is into this type of activity. So what is the problem?
I mean, I agree. It's not fair. It's supposed to be that, you're given the benefit of the doubt, but being in that situation, you're absolutely correct. Some activities that you do will exacerbate your chances of being involved in this stuff. And in this day and age, you don't want to do anything that's going to give you an audience with these folks, because any small encounter can get like this. Even if you're just doing like a traffic stop, you want to speed on the freeway, You know, you want to, you know, dress a certain way, hang with a certain crowd, be out at certain hours of the night in certain places, obviously, you know. But again, it's not limited to just people that may participate in criminal activity. But the fact is, that's their perception of us. That's their perception of us. So we already have to deal with that. So if you're actually, you know, and again, with these kind of facts that you're talking about, Dynas, that's exactly what will be the narrative. Well, they were up to no good. You know, they were dealing this and that. They'll use that to justify your situation as well. You know, they'll say, well, you know, because they already go digging up anything they can find when these incidents happen. They're like, oh yeah, when Gina was 16, you know, she did this and that and the other. She had some unpaid speeding tickets, and they basically create the narrative that you are somehow responsible for your own demise.
Right. Exactly, guys. We'll go ahead and start taking some calls. Again, we'll start taking some calls if you guys want to call in. And again, I'm not trying to be callous, but hold on one second, guys. If you want to call in, send me an email. Again, if you want to call in, send me an email. Email is in the chat room of Uhuru at searchforUhuru.com, and let's have an adult conversation that's not emotional. You know, okay, trying to compare this situation to Trayvon Martin or Tamir Rice is apples and oranges. It's apples and oranges. It's
Right.
not the same. It's not the same. This situation, compared to Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, the brother who was here in Georgia, who was just jogging down the street,
Yeah.
like it's apples and oranges.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Oh yeah, apples and oranges. But again, guys, call in. Call in. How is it that mobsters can be offended and raised unharmed? Okay, are those mobsters white? Like, why are we still having this conversation in America? We already know that how white lives are valued over black lives. Like, I mean, why are we still having this conversation? Like, we know that the white mobster is going to be apprehended. Like, we know how that's going to end. Again, we continue to have this conversation, and people are saying, "Oh, we're going to fight back." Fight back how? Like, I want you to call in. I want you to articulate how this fight's going to take place.
I mean,
I'm serious. Like, I mean, let's just have an adult conversation. I mean, correct me. Please call in and explain how this fight is going to take place.
I mean, I think, alienating that environment is a great way to fight back. You know, it basically says, you know what, this environment's not suitable for me. It's not safe for me. I'm not going to keep contributing to this environment. I'm not going to keep paying taxes. I'm not going to keep being, a victim of circumstance, because basically, as long as we are in that environment, we are subject to these things. Any of us can be a victim at any time. We see across the demographics of Black people that have been affected by police brutality. There's no like common denominator. Oh, all these people are, they were doing this, they were doing that, they weren't compliant. It's across the board. You have professionals, educated, young, old, male, female. I'd say the one thing they have in common is the fact that they're Black. That's the common denominator, which can put you and I in that very same situation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, okay, fight back how? Now, if you guys want to, in fact, this is what I will do. I will host the ADOS FBA conference here in Atlanta. You guys could come and we'll talk about how we're gonna fight back. I will charge each of you $30 for admission, and we can have a conversation. If that's what you call fighting back, then let's go ahead and have a conference. Let's go ahead and have the fight back conference
summit. You gotta have a summit.
The Fight Back Summit, guys. We will have the Fight Back Summit here in Atlanta. I'll get on the podium. I'll give you the best sermon. If everyone is, so there's 323 of you guys. If you guys pay $50 a piece to come to my Fight Back Summit here in Atlanta, I will give you guys the best Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson-ish, Benjamin Crump-ish speech ever. I would have you guys ready to rise up. I would have you guys ready to rise up. And what we'll do, we'll have this conference every 3 months. We'll do it every 3 months. We'll call it the Rise Up Conference. So every 3 months, you guys can come to Atlanta. I will just give you guys a bunch of feel good. Like I said, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Benjamin Crump. You know,
you can probably get Umar on the ticket.
You know, and you guys just pay me. You got the $50 yeah, that's what we'll do. If that will make you guys feel better, then hey man, let's do it. The Rise Up Conference.
Dynas, what is your proposed solution for this stuff? What do you think we should do?
I mean, like I said, it's time to pull your resources out of America. I mean, guys, like brother Obadiah Cabone said, Dr. Cabone. We work here in America. Me too. My taxes, I'm just as guilty. And I realize I'm just as guilty. Okay, until I completely pull out. So you don't fight back economically. Guys, again, this is the hamster wheel. That's why the title of this is called the hamster wheel. What do I mean? The police officers who fired into Breonna Taylor's apartment. No, thank you, sir. Okay, yeah, I got people AT&T trying to sell me something. Yeah, but anyways, the police officers who fired into Breonna Taylor's apartment, right? Who pays the police officer's salary? Who pays for their bullets? Who pays for their guns? Who pays for their squad cars?
Yeah.
Who pays for their training?
Uniforms,
pension. I mean, walkie-talkies, service weapons,
donuts.
Who pays for that?
Exactly. Our tax dollars.
Who pays for that?
Yeah, our tax dollars.
Our tax dollars. Hold on. My Yoruba brother, V Ayodole. Yeah, when have I not said that? When have I not said that, V Ayodole? Okay, anyway. So yeah, who pays for that? We do. So the suffering that Black Americans that we are upset about, we pay for. We finance. We are financing our own suffering. Right, but Joe Biden's going to save us. Joe Biden's going to save us, though. And Kamala Harris, they're going to save us. They're going to save us. So
I mean, I think, honestly, you know, we have exhausted all the other potential options. You know, investing in Africa, removing ourselves from the situation is the one option that we have been slack in utilizing. You know, and essentially they know that they'll just protest, they'll get upset, they'll do some hashtags, they'll do some candlelight vigils, and then it'll be business as usual. They'll cry, and you know they'll get over it, but they're not really feeling any kind of consequence. You know, not legally, not fiscally. They don't fear us. You know, that's the simple answer to why they victimize us, and with other ethnic groups, they don't. You know, they know if they murder a Jewish person, there's going to be ramifications.
In fact, let me even go a little bit further. Guys, in Los Angeles, California, the Jewish community has their own police and ambulance service.
Wow.
I kid you not.
Wow.
Well,
you know, so they know that's why. And the bottom line is, like, unfortunately, we don't have that kind of collective power, or we don't exercise it. So they don't feel any ramifications. of these situations, you know, and it's gonna be ongoing. I mean, people that don't want to accept it, you know, it is what it is. I mean, the writing's on the wall. It's not just for Dynas and I to come here and talk about it. This is something that has been going on historically for the duration of our interaction in the West, you know. So I think you kind of have to, like he said, have the mature adult analysis of where we are and where you want to be and what you're going to do. You know, if, for instance, your Black life really mattered, you would protect it, and you would see impending danger around you, and you would get out of that environment. You know, it may require you being creative. It may take time. Obviously, it's going to take money. It's going to require you starting over. You're going to have to learn new things. But if your life is really valuable to you, you would take that opportunity. You know, I obviously, for any new viewers and things like that, I moved out of America 3 years ago. This was one of the reasons that I did. I moved to Europe to prepare to go to the continent, because I was really just struggling in America. I couldn't, you know, get my bearings together because of that hamster wheel. You're in that cycle. You're constantly starting over. You have to worry about all these external things. So I say, you know what? I have just got to get out of here because it's not safe, because my Black lives matter. And I said, I'm not going to let these people reduce me into being a hashtag, you know. And it comes to that. If you're serious, and let's be honest, you say, some people may say that they are fighting back, but they're not. You're biding your time. You know, you're hoping that you won't be the next victim. It can happen at any time. And I really encourage you to put yourself in the position of all the victims that, you know, we know of. You know, put yourself in their shoes. They also didn't have aspirations of becoming victims of this environment, becoming victims of police brutality, being murdered violently and having no justice. Their families left with the gaping hole and all of that. You know, Joshua Blake just got shot, you know, a couple of weeks ago. He's a father of 3, a young man. Now he's paralyzed. You know what I mean? And you have to really put yourself in that shoe and not be narcissistic to think that this wouldn't happen to you. And again, when you take those evaluations, you would make the decision, okay, you know what? It's actually a part of you scientifically, okay? It's called fight or flight, all right? Those are the 2 responses that are innate inside of you when you are in a life-threatening situation. We talk about this on my channel all the time, okay? You either are going to fight, which realistically, we don't even have a playing field for a fight, you know, not military-wise, not fiscally, not, you know, there's very little cohesion in our community in the West. So the probability of us being able to fight is slim to none. The option that makes more sense is to flight, you know, get out of harm's way, you know, remove yourself from that dangerous situation. And that's just what it is. And anybody who's in the middle that straddles the fence is biding their time. That's exactly what they're doing. They're biding their time. And, you know, we come here and provide you this media. I think overwhelmingly, you know, a lot of the Black YouTubers out here are promoting the Pan-African options because it is what it is. We can't, you know, magic any other kind of solution. There's really no viable solution. Those of us that are in the West, you should be utilizing your resources to set you up on the continent. You know, that's the best way. But as far as rooting yourself in America, trying to have your family there, it's really, really unwise and it's dangerous. And if you're honest with yourself, it's not even promising. If we're dealing with this now, what do you think the climate is going to be like in 20 years for your child, for your grandchildren, for your, you know, nieces and nephews, realistically? You know, where do you think, especially with the climate of the American people? You see people like Trump. You know, Trump is a whole concept in himself, but see, he's fueled by a sentiment of the American people, a large sentiment, which means when you're out in the public, you're out in the community, you know, you have to deal with your neighbors with that connotation. Dinas, did you hear about that Senegalese family?
Yeah, man. Oh my God. And in Colorado. Yeah.
There was for any of you guys that may not be aware, there was a young Senegalese family who was victims of arson in Denver, Colorado. Some people came in the middle of the night and burned their house, killed 5 members of their family. And you know, these are the kind of things that these non-Black people have been responsible for centuries, acts of violence against our people. You know, you are really not safe. Honestly, you're really not safe. And what are you going to do? Who are you going to call when these folks are threatening your life? You know, when they're vandalizing your property or threatening to kill you. You know, who you know, you're supposed to be able to utilize the police department, but you can't trust them either. And then, just like I heard what's going on in Louisville, they're on lockdown now. They're going to bring in, if the situation gets out of control too much, they bring in the National Guard. And who are y'all going to fight? Is the NFAC going to fight the National Guard?
Well, it was crazy, Jenna. It's not even now. It's more white Black Lives Matter versus the white conservatives. So it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. It's really hairy over there. That's all I can say, bro. That's all I can say. I mean, it's like we don't even have a lot to say on this subject because we've talked about it so much, you know, even just this year. I mean, you got Breonna Taylor, you got George Floyd, you got Joshua Blake, you got Arbery Ahmad. Who else? Did I miss anybody?
Oh, no, that was last year. Was that really this year or last year? The brother that was in his apartment and the cop in the wrong apartment. St. Jean, both of them St. Jean.
Both of them Jean. Yeah, that was last year. But I think the verdict came out this year. You know, she got the 10 years.
No, but now she's going to what's the word?
Did she appeal?
Appeal.
See? You know, so, and that's it. I mean, there's so many because there's also that guy, the Elijah. You know, the guy walking home, the guy with the
was it Down syndrome or something?
Yep.
Not Down syndrome, but he had
Yeah, something going on. Yeah. You know, there's so many victims that we can't even keep track of the hashtags. You know?
Guys, hit that like button. We have 400 people watching. Please hit the like button again. It does not cost you guys anything to hit the like button. Also, tour. Okay, in fact, let me go ahead and hold on one second, Fafala. I see. Hold on one second, guys. I just want to pull this up. Everyone, we got the tour coming up. Sierra Leone, April 21st through the 30th.
Fight the West by going to Africa. That's what, for those of y'all that are fighters, fight the West and go to Africa. That's a move they never bank on you doing.
So April,
start investing in the homeland.
Hold on one second, guys. Let me get this situated. You guys. Hold on one second. Let me share the screen. But we make it an announcement, family. Y'all need to be. You guys need to be with me in Sierra Leone. You need to be with me in Sierra Leone. Okay, why is this not working? Why is this loading up so slow? Okay, there we go. Hold on, let me see if I can get this now. Second, you guys. You know, I'm trying to get it. Here we go. No. Here we go. Bam. There we go.
You adding somebody on?
No, there we go. The flyer. Guys, I need y'all to be in Sierra Leone with me. I need you to come April 21st to the 30th. Okay? Hit me up, email me, go to searchforhuru.com. Send me an email. Okay, book is falling. I need y'all to roll April 21st to the 30th. All right, guys, hit that like button. Hit me up in regards to the Sierra Leone tour. Come enroll, everyone. Flight is included. Transportation, we're going to feed you guys some too. Hotel, all included, everybody. Just meet me in Atlanta and we got you. April 21st to the 30th, Sierra Leone. Call for more details. Let's go. All right, Fafa Blog, go ahead.
Hey, boo.
We
Take your
can't,
mic off.
you're on mute.
Okay. Oh yeah, I had stuff going on.
African queen, girl. You looking sun kissed. I see you. I see you. I see you. What?
Wearing my yellow as usual. Thank you. Thank you. And I look forward to when I get to finally see you. You know, that day will come.
Indeed.
So basically, like my heart is over here like boom, 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 because I intended for the first thing to come out of my mouth to be the very last thing you said. The fight is get the heck out, get to Africa. And the reason why I say that is because.
And where are you at?
I'm in Ghana right now.
You're in Ghana.
In Ghana.
Okay, I just want to make sure because you know people be like, "Oh, y'all all in the West talking this stuff." Okay. I just wanted to check.
Yeah, I'm still getting that. It's like I'm getting all kinds of stuff, and I just let them. You want to know, ask the proper questions, and you'll get the proper answers.
Yeah, there you go.
But without us, there would be no America. The very foundation of that country was built from our sweat, blood, and tears. They could not and still cannot do anything without our vitality. They wear on us so hard, and the only thing that they feel like they can do to even to break us now is to kill those who they can kill and leave just enough back to see the example. It's the same thing, different face. Slavery. Starve them. Don't fight the economy, fight back economically. No, create your own economy or go and be a part of an economy that is pre-existing for you. I'm tired of hearing, oh, we need another Wall Street. We need to build our own this, build our own that, as if we can't see what happened in the past.
Right.
That country is never going to allow African descendants to have anything for too long. Even, you know, celebrities, if anyone pays attention to the pattern, you realize that once they get to a certain height in their career, it's like you know, they start the character assassination, or start, you know, putting the scandals out, start setting you up, start doing everything they can to bring you down.
You know
they
what's
continue
about
to
happen to Kanye,
ways.
you know? What's about to happen to Kanye?
I mean, it's all by design. It is all by design. The only fight is to fight your way out of the country, fight your way to a place where you're not being killed because of the color of your skin. You know, over here, people, all this rumor stuff and, oh, Africans don't like us. No, they have some places where you go, and I won't get into that too deeply now. They do have a couple of misconceptions, and some of our brothers and sisters kind of bring that upon themselves and make a bad rep for us. But overall, they really do want us back home. They need us. They want us. They're welcoming us. You know, with the same, we come home, okay, different shades, the same. There's never going to be any penalization because of your complexion, because of your skin, because of your blood. If anything, it'll be your Americanized white supremacist mindset that you need to be working on purging yourself up now. And I mean, and it's as simple as accepting truth. You know, go get some therapy if you need to, because that cognitive dissonance is deep, you know. And this whole, you know, I'm gonna touch on it lightly because I'm tired of hearing it too, though. My bones, my ancestors' bones. And, you know, they didn't ask to come here. And they were brutally, you know, put to work here. They didn't want to be here. So I know that, you know, when we talk about our ancestors, it never started with the enslaved that, or the kidnapped or the sold, whatever you want to call it. It didn't start with them. Those ancestors of ours have ancestors that pre-existed way, way, way before them. They don't want us here. And for those of us who embrace the practice African spirituality or other types of spirituality, I'm sure we're all familiar with hearing, oh, your ancestors. We at some point in time get told your ancestors want you to do this. Your ancestors. I have never heard anyone say, you know, my ancestors feel like it's better for me to be here in you know, say, why?
Very
Your
good point.
bones, what are the bones? What are the bones? What are bones? What, you know, our ancestors aren't their bones. You know, that's that again, that's brainwashing, you know, the worshiping of, you know. No, it's souls and spirits. It's in our blood. Those bones have converted to the blood in our children and our grandchildren that have since come. So we need to be thinking about our children are here. Our children are here. It's not good for them. It's not safe for them. There's nothing here for them. What are we going? You cannot create anything in the country, in America, for your children. The only fight is to get where you will have people fighting for and with you, if need be, and it will be against a completely different fight. It won't be because of your race or because of your skin color. I mean, it's as simple as that. This argument is going to continue and continue and continue. And I've been seeing the hashtag put out there. People have been saying a lot lately. And I'm a firm believer of just be quiet and do it. It's a lot of talking. What we gonna do? What should we do? We need to do this. We need to get together and do that. We need a military, but we need an organization for that. We need the da-da-da-da. Just do it. It's just time to stop talking and do it. It's a lot of energy that goes into talking because your brain is constantly going. By the time you finish talking up a storm, you're mentally exhausted. You got brain fatigue. You had a good story, you had a good idea, but now do you have the energy to go and execute all that you spoke about? You know, and a lot of our brothers and sisters have some really, really good ideas that would really, you know, work wonders. But then again, the support system isn't there because we don't believe in each other. Yet, you know who believes in us diasporans? The continental Africans. They really believe in us.
Yeah, they do.
They really, you know, and it's a good feeling because they listen, they gobble, or they want to hear. And when you start telling them and teaching them the real history that they didn't learn because they were so busy being fed all this European, you know, Catholicism, this missionary stuff, and then all the history that, you know, they, you know, all the false history and stuff fed them in school. You know, when you start, you know, and showing them proof of what really happened, they're just looking at you like, sister, you're not telling the truth, or really, you know, you're like, don't get emotional, but yeah, this is the truth.
Why don't they come home now? Why don't they come?
Yeah, they say it all the time.
I'm telling you,
why are they there? You know, but you know. Right. If it's so bad, why are you there? Come home. You're my sister. You're my brother. And you're like, well, you know, for years we've been trying to tell them that, you know, it'd be best to come up, my nigga. You know, but it doesn't happen instantly. You know, it takes. You have to sit down and really have a heart to heart with people because they still very much fantasize about coming to America and coming to Europe and wherever else. They, you know. And I keep saying to myself, why is it that all of this stuff is all over the media? You see what's happening, and you still want to go to America? And I was just talking to my oldest son this evening. I said, you know what it is? The limited internet, the fact that you have to pay the way that you have to pay for the internet and the data, it's almost like that's by design too. And I don't know by who. Whereas you make it almost impossible. You make it too difficult for everybody or for the people that matter, that need to really see Like the people who are living in, the actual people that are living in poverty, they can't afford to go and buy stacks and stacks of data or internet so they can get on and watch YouTube and go look at CNN so they don't really have a real perception, a real understanding of what's really going on. And they don't know. Pardon?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. That was the accidentally hit the.
Okay, yeah. So they don't know. And with that being said, I'm going to start some type of campaign, however small it may be, to rehabilitate the minds of our colonized brothers and sisters here on the continent. Because one thing that irks me the most, and this is how I know they're not being exposed to what's really going on, is because they say, but you're white, that's why. And you go, what? I know you've experienced that on your trips here. And you go, and I was looking at I said, well, I need to hurry up and get in the sun and get my color back. And it's always not your color. It's not your color. You speak English. You're from America or you're from Jamaica. You have education. And I'm like, how does that make me white? And then it has to be broken, just like how I have to sit down and take time and educate my brothers and sisters here. I have to listen too. I sit down and I get schooled too. And then I have a greater understanding of why they think that way or what they're saying. It's a matter of class. It all comes down to colonialism. And that is the only fight that we will have as diasporans coming back home. Colonialism. But that doesn't make us any better than them, because we got oppression and serious brainwashing to deal with too. You know what I'm saying? So that needs to be made.
You're doing the work though. And that's what I have to commend you, because when you realize that basically both sides of the coin have been getting the misinformation, instead of all the bickering back and forth and, oh, you guys did this and we did this and this and that. We don't get anywhere with that, because you're having the learning experience like, oh, this is why they're having this, reaction to me. And vice versa. And you're actually, because I know where you are, and certainly down there's probably not a lot of us there yet, not
over here, not exactly where I am. No, right,
exactly,
right.
So you're really pioneering, by being in that environment and using it as a teaching is, a teaching point, and it's phenomenal. And I'm really proud of you, but I know it's challenging and frustrating.
I need a team. I need my people. I need
let me get Philip, go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Hi, and I just wanted to pop in for a second. You had asked to talk to an attorney about some of the issues that were raised.
Hey, Philip, you're an attorney. I forgot. You're an attorney. Yeah, go ahead. I forgot you're an attorney. So, guys, we have a professional on now. Okay, Philip, so I can be quiet. I'm not a professional. Philip, you have a law degree. You went to school. We got a lot of people in the chat room because their last name is L and Bay. They think they can outsmart the system because they have L or Bay, because they pay $30 for a correction status change. Yeah, but Philip, go ahead, Philip.
Well, first off, let me just say, Dynas and African Superstar, I love your channels, and I think you guys are lighting the path for everybody. And I just wanted to see if I couldn't give a couple minutes here and see if I could help.
Yeah, go ahead. So Philip, you're a lawyer, all right? Now,
on a good day.
On a good day. Okay. So, Fatima, I had to mute you because there's some background noise coming on your end, so I had to mute you. So, all right. The example I gave in regards to Benjamin Crump in the conversation you probably had with Breonna Taylor. If you were in Benjamin Crump's shoes, and I don't know how much you've been following this case, would you probably have given, with everything that was presented, everything, because people just know, okay, and which is wrong. Police came in, I guess, no knock warrant or whatever, and started shooting. That's all people know. But from everything that was presented from 2016 or 15 to now that was going on, all the evidence, what advice would you have given Miss Taylor's family?
Okay, well, first off, anything that I would say, I'm not giving legal advice.
Right. I know you got to do a disclaimer. You got to do a disclaimer. I know you got to do your disclaimer. I understand.
And that this is a hypothetical, and so therefore there are issues with the hypothetical. Now, I followed the case, from the periphery. I didn't follow all the details, but I more or less understood what happened, and that basically a warrant was issued for this particular house, and I believe it was the wrong address. And so when they went to execute the warrant, that it was under these terms because of the high risk, apparently, of a no-knock, so that they didn't have to knock and say, this is the police, blah, 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 blah. They had to identify themselves, and that's really where the rub was that in, attorneys amongst themselves, we've been kind of talking about this issue, and there is conflicting testimony as to whether the police identified themselves or not. So that was the first thing. There's a witness that went before the grand jury, apparently, that said that they heard the police announce themselves, but Breonna Taylor's significant other, I believe, said that there was no announcement, so that it's split. But let me just cut to the chase on this. In my view, that this particular case did not necessarily have to go to a grand jury. If they wanted to charge, they could have gone on and just charged the officers involved and let a jury of their peers determine what the facts were. So it already kind of looks like a political decision to send this in front of a grand jury. And one of the things, let me get back to the settlement, that one of the things that came out, and I put this in the chat, was that one of the attorneys for the family, not Crump, but this guy, Aguiar, filed a claim on behalf of the family about there appeared to be a link between the police force that were doing these no-knock warrants and the city. And specifically an effort to try to gentrify this particular block where the incident took place. And after that filing and some investigation about it, then the settlement was shortly thereafter. And so I don't know, and I don't want to put on the record that this is the motivating factor, but I do find it interesting that that filing was made, and that would, obviously have to do with developers and, resources and just how the police are used in relationship to real estate. And I think that both you and AfrikanSuperstar were kind of going down that path earlier. And so let's just bring it to a close and talk about the bigger issue, which is what kind of force can the public bring on things like this? And, the analogy I've been using with some of my colleagues who are attorneys is, let's just assume for the purposes of discussion that this national wasn't not an African American, but let's say a Korean American or a Chinese American. And what would the response be for this exact same scenario?
Ooh, you already know.
That person was Chinese or Korean. What would happen? Would this type of thing go the direction that it went? And it's my view that it wouldn't, that the Chinese embassy would be involved, that the Korean embassy would be involved, and that when trade came up, that these kinds of things would be discussed. Now, where am I getting that from? Is this just something, that I hypothesized? No, it's from something that, Dynas, I'm sure you're very familiar with, which is the LA riots. Mm-hmm. After the LA riots, the South Korean government put pressure on the Bush administration to allow them to come in with banking and to make sure that those businesses and the community was rebuilt. There were
never knew. Oh, whoa, Phil, I never knew that. No, I never knew.
Oh yeah,
Philip, I actually, in fact, okay. You know, like I think the tallest building. You live in LA, right, Philip?
Yes.
Didn't that Korean Air building in downtown LA? Is that the tallest building in LA now?
The hotel, yeah, it's one of the tallest, if not the tallest.
Yeah, because I lived in Koreatown. I noticed that all those Korean banks are there, and then they were building all those skyscrapers there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was part of the package,
right?
But both the Bush administration and the Korean government got involved. And so, how does this relate to the Taylor incident and the countless others that you brought up? And that is that we have no state force behind us. We don't have Nigeria or Ghana or Liberia or Sierra Leone behind us to say, hey, guess what, guys? Remember that situation we had in Kentucky? Well, we want to talk about these no-knock warrants and how our citizens are being treated. And guess what? We're going to be changing up a few things on this next trade negotiation. And that's the difference is that
power, money.
So what does that have to do with the show and kind of the direction? And that is that I agree with both of you that as an economic force, if not our physical persons or both, that we have to reintegrate ourselves back into West Africa and the continent itself, because we don't have the force of power of nation state behind us. And because of that, we're weak. In addition to that, and this is why I thought Dinas and I have been talking for some time.
I'm so happy you called in. I'm so happy you called in. Wonderful contribution. Excellent.
How our dialogue started, Dinas, I'm just going to bring this up, was about reparations and, how to bring the claim and so on and so forth. And actually, I was just talking to one of my attorney friends about this morning. That's he's African. He's from Ghana, but he's, here. And, the claim should be brought as who we actually are, which are Nigerians, Ghanaians, Sierra Leoneans, Senegalese, Angolans who have been falsely imprisoned in the United States. That's how you bring the claim. To try to bring it as Americans, the Supreme Court has already ruled that standing does not pass down from our ancestors for Africans. Now, ironically, it passes down for Jewish people and for Native Americans and for Japanese Americans. But surprisingly, in the case of Africans, it does not pass down. And so you've got a legal challenge right from the start with the Supreme Court to get standing to bring the claim. However, if the claim was brought as a class action on behalf of Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and its citizens, which were grandfathered in, who were falsely imprisoned over generations, well, maybe there's a discussion to be held. But my point is that this is the real core of the problem. The core of the problem is that we have a bunch of plugs as African Americans in terms of our skills, but we have no sockets to plug those skills into. And that's what we who can need to work on, which is to build a grid of sockets and electrical infrastructure, if you will, in terms of businesses and commerce, so that our people can work. And that's really where we're at, and so the hamster wheel is a great analogy because that situation doesn't change. We are in a caste as African Americans in this country as the bottom.
But hold on, Philip. I thought we were indigenous Native American Olmec Moors. I thought we were the Olmecs, the Moors, the Black Cherokee,
the Hebrews.
And I'm gonna put El Bay. I'm gonna get my correction status and put El and Bay at the end of my name, and therefore, then I'm gonna take. After I do that, I'm gonna take America to the UN. Right? I'm gonna take America to the UN. I'm not a lawyer, but I saw this stuff on I Googled all of this and on YouTube, So I found out if I put L or Bay at the end of my name and claim my indigenous status as a Black Cherokee Olmec from Turtle Island, and then take America to court in the UN, Donald Trump is going to be forced to give me the infrastructure, the nuclear submarines, the airplanes, the war jets, the Air Force, everything, the military, everything. They're going to give it to me because I put El Bay at the end of my name. So you trying to tell me that won't work, Philip?
I don't know if it will or won't, but I think we could make it a little simpler, which is go on and get your DNA test and find out what your genetic citizenship is, which
But
is
hold
where
on,
you
Philip.
came
See,
from.
that's a scam because they want to trick us. They want to trick me, the indigenous Olmec from Turtle Island, El Bay. They
Okay.
want to trick me and tell me that I'm African because I'm not African. I am an
No,
Olmec.
we was here first.
I am a wool
We
copper
was here
color.
first.
I'm a copper color, woolly hair Moor from Turtle Island. And see what they're trying to do, they're trying to send me to Africa, and the Africans are coming over here. It's a trick. Because I am from Turtle Island. I am from Turtle Island, Philip. I'm a Moor.
Well, that's deep, Dennis. I encourage those that figure that they can, kind of trace that back and get some sort of claim together to go forward with that. But for the rest of us, I think a simple DNA test to work on what you guys are talking about might be a little easier and a little cheaper, but this is just my 2 cents. I'm just one guy in the crowd,
Excellent.
But I love you bringing that stuff up because, look, I don't know where this Black escapism, came from in terms of we got to be something other than what we actually are, and just as another thing, I was watching as I was sitting here working a program here with Samuel L. Jackson, this enslaved thing, and he's doing that. He's doing just that. Let's not make it hard, guys. We got a lot of hard work in trying to build businesses that our people can, work from. I said to Dinus, that's what I'm trying to do too. Is to try to figure out how do I transition and, make my practice more fulfilling and so I can help, But no, man, we don't need to do all that, we just do the simple stuff. I did the test. Turns out I'm heavily Nigerian, so Nigerian it is. I'm a bunch of other stuff.
Come on, Niger. Come on, Niger.
That's what it is, So hey, look, I don't have to be creative. I know what the deal is. So I just wanted to get on for a couple of seconds and say, look, this is what the deal is legally, that they didn't have to throw this to the grand jury, that was a political decision. And, that they didn't want to charge these guys. And what they really didn't want to get into, which is the discussion we should be having. And I want to encourage people to get on this, which is about qualified immunity and the Supreme Court principle behind that in terms of cops and their liability for these types of shooting, particularly when the people are unarmed. And I think that we need to talk about having subpoena power for these investigative situations where cops shoot people and they're unarmed. Because right now what we have is that the police investigate themselves essentially for these shootings. And the district attorneys and state's attorneys have a relationship with these law enforcement entities to investigate all their cases. So, it's real problematic to have, like your number one witness in one case now being investigated for a shooting that they did, and we got to put pressure on the powers that be in terms of people to say, hey, look, this situation, this, from eyeball look doesn't look objective, that we got some real problems there. And at least in the investigative part, that they should have subpoena power to investigate these people. Maybe we need to talk about police officers carrying insurance individually for shootings. So, There's a lot of stuff out there that we can do without dealing with Turtle Island, Don.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So, look, I appreciate what you guys are doing. Keep doing it, amplify it, and you know, you have some wonderful guests. And in this particular case, I found myself agreeing with Lou Major. You know,
Hey, hold on. I know Lou Major's watching. Lou Major's watching. I know he's watching.
Right?
He's about to come in.
Brother Lou, I took a few notes from me, brother.
I know he's watching. I know he's watching.
I appreciate your energy. So on that note, I'm going to take my leave, but I appreciate what you guys are doing. And yeah, this is what the deal is. We need to get off the wheel and reintegrate our economy with the African economy, and it needs to be regional. Yeah, because the thing is, I don't know how many cases we need to see to know that they have no intention of changing very much at all. And, you know, we'll be in this same spot 10 years from now, and we just can't afford it. We just can't afford it. And that actually, that's one final point, is that unfortunately, and Dennis and I have talked about this, a lot of Black Americans have not figured out that they don't have enough saved to retire in the United States. Right. It's just a real thing, you know? And so, look, if you just eyeball it without even dealing with the healthcare issue, that let's say you need $30,000 a year for every year that you're retired. Who's got that? Now, the average 401k, the last I saw, has about $35,000 in it. So that wouldn't get you past a year and a couple months. Look, it just isn't real, people. It just isn't real. You need to get your money together and figure out how to make this Africa thing, or, you know, whatever you're going to do. But, you know, we're talking about Africa right now. And there are opportunities there, you know, that the real estate and so on, there are real opportunities. And that's where we need to be focused, at least from this, my humble opinion. You know, now I'm one guy in the crowd, and nothing I offered, as I said, was legal advice. But I do read, and what I've read is, look, people, you got to get your money together and see what you can do about Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and, you know, take a look at Dynas's tours and AfrikanSuperstar's different goods and programs that she's offering. So let's get it together, and, you know, we'll talk again soon.
I appreciate it, Brother Philip.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you for humoring me for a few minutes.
You're excellent.
Okay,
thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye. All right. Go ahead, Fafamla. Go ahead.
I want to thank you, Philip. That was
one second, guys. Hit that like button. We have almost 600 people watching. Hit the like button again. Hit that.
We really draw a crowd, Dinus.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Fafamla. Go ahead.
I want to speak directly to some moms out there. I mean, I'm a mom, so it fits, right? I want people to know that saying that you are a mother with 1, 2, 3, or 4, 7, 8, 9 kids is not a good enough excuse to not pick up and go to Africa. Africa is not a horror scene. It is not a bloody jungle. Children get kidnapped all over the world. There is no place that is kidnapping and murdering children right now more than the United States of America. I picked up with my 4 children, and I took the long haul to Nigeria with just me and my 4 children. No help traveling, and I have young ones. It meant that much to me as a mother to, no matter what, no matter how easy or hard I thought it may be, you know, the future is still ahead of me. I always say this: we all deserve a fighting chance at real life. People have different definitions of what wealth is. People have different, you know, reasons for living and what they want to, you know, the purpose of life here, whatever your purpose, whatever it is. The best thing that we can do as parents, and whether you're single or not, get, and I'm gonna refer to this. This is for the religious folks. Get to higher ground. Go to the mountains. Go for your 40 days and 40 nights. This is for, you know, I'm speaking biblical terms. You know, I'm not there, but I happen to know the Bible back and forth. Every
Yeah.
single time people were in trouble, Jesus said, go to the mountains, right? Go to the bush, go where it's green. Go where you can live off of the vegetation that is already growing around you. Go where you can easily plant food. And there are no laws and rules and regulations. Nobody telling you can or cannot plant this food. You can or cannot plant this tree. Go to where if you have something and your neighbor has something, but you need what they have and you have what they need, you can go and say, ah, I don't have any more yam, but I have some sugar. Do you need it? You know, you say, yeah, I'm making fun, but it's real. You know, where the community, you know, the community
Yeah, man.
living and support is not what it used to be, but it is still there. People will look out for you. So if you're worried about, well, what if I run out of money? What if I mess up and my plan doesn't work? Stop the what ifs. It's an excuse. You know, what if, is America any better? Is your future secure there? Look what's going on. You know, one thing I can say about Africa is that everybody's child is everybody's child. So I'm speaking directly to the mothers out there that are sitting there saying, I can't go. I don't have no money. I got for, if I see only person on this platform right now, there are only two people, maybe three on this call and in the whole chat room that know my exact situation that I was in before I got to Africa. And I'm saying that if I can do it, anybody can do it. And no, it's not easy, but it takes, right, Dinus? You remember what I went through?
Yeah.
How it takes determination. It takes will. If you want, if you really make up your mind to, and this is where I'm sorry, but if your family, if you know your family and friends and loved ones are not going to be in support of it, it's your life, not theirs. Don't let anybody guilt trip you or stop you from going towards what your divine destiny or wherever it is that you're supposed to be. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth, just you, if you're grown, make grown up decisions and go. As far as
Man.
money is concerned, if as far as money is concerned, there are ways. You know, people always talking about welfare, this, and I wasn't, I'll say I was not getting welfare checks and all of that, but I'm saying
Yeah.
use your smarts. If you are receiving any type of government assistance, use it. There are programs that aid single parent homes. There are programs that aid two parent homes. There are programs that aid people based on their minimum income. They will fund you. There are programs like in New York, what is it called? Um, a one-shot deal or whatever. In Massachusetts, it's home base. I know because I've helped people to research these things. And these are organizations, and you just have to see what your state offers that give people, it's usually around $10,000. They give you that to assist with your move. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to put it out there because I feel like I experienced it for a reason, and I'm going to swallow my pride now. And I'm not going to go any further than this as far as my personal thing, but this is for you guys that feel like there's no way out. I became the first mom and her children to be aided by the home. I'm gonna say it. I don't care how they feel, but it was legal and I was entitled to it because I pay taxes like everybody else, and their taxes were not benefiting me any other kind of way. Home base. Okay. I'm the first person that ever went to them and said, well, you help people to move. And you said you help people to move out of state. Now, what are the stipulations around that? What are the limits? What are the boundaries? What are it's out of state, right? And they said, yes, well, if you're moving out of state, we won't give you the whole 10,000. We'll only give you enough money for transportation, like a truck to move your stuff there if you want to drive, or we'll pay for your airline tickets, and then we'll pay for your first, last, and or security. That's it. If you stay in state, we'll give you the whole $10,000 and you do whatever you want to do. I said, well, I mean, you said out of state. Is it restricted to any state in particular? Is there a limit on how far I'm allowed to go? They say no. I was very smart. I said, are you sure? I can move anywhere I want to. They said yes. I said, if I move out of the state, I'll still have assistance. They said yes. I said, okay. So I said, now, what if I could come up with something that was equivalent to the cost of either the truck move, the drive, the fuel, the first, last, and security? Because when you do the math now, you're getting, in America, especially in the Northeast and East Coast, money for the rent adds up. So let me just tell you, I said, listen, I'm Jamaican, right? So the accent can come and go depending on wherever I want, depending on who me I talk to and them thing there, because people ever look for me and say, hey, Yana Yadi, you sound like American. Somebody said it on here. I don't think she's from Nigeria. Well, my great-grandparents are from Brazil, and they were Nigerian and Congolese, okay? And when I'm ready, okay? I've been a traditionalist for 20 years. But you want to see how quick all the different accents came out for me to convince them, because my words alone wouldn't convince them. I have family. I said, I have family in Africa. And as a mom, I feel like during these times, I need to go where I'm going to have family support. Wouldn't you want to make sure that as a mom that my children are around family, and I'm going to have, because anytime you go for any type of aid in America, they want to, or anything, they want to know, well, because they like to take your children away or look for reasons. So you have to be able to prove, oh, no, I have a support system around me. No, all by myself. Me, all by myself. I did not have the auntie and the uncle and whatever. And no, right? But I said, but it's true. Hey, my DNA proves it. My family is from Nigeria predominantly. So I was like, if they start tripping, I'm gonna pull out my DNA test and I'm gonna say, look, you see, look, the highest percentage there is Nigerian. But when I said it, thankfully the person that I was dealing with at the time, she's Haitian. So when I started to speak to her as a Black woman, as a Caribbean woman, she was like, I'm gonna help you. Yes. She said, I'm gonna tell you, we're not supposed to tell people they can do it, but it is perfectly legal. And I said, she said, my sister, she said, yeah. She said, yes, what is this? I said, it took me about 9 months for everything to find us, because, something happened, I don't know where she went, but she probably got laid off for helping me. But the story went on because legally they had to follow through. I was entitled to it because that's just the way the law was written. There was nothing that said I couldn't move out of the country. And once they approved me for this assistance, for this $10,000, that was that. So it got harder because she was gone. So they did everything they could to make it nearly impossible. Dinas will tell you. Dinas was trying to help me, like, oh shoot, let me make this call. It was like the moment they gave me a green light for something, 2 days later, I was like, can you imagine? They said this and it, they just kept getting my hopes up. And then they were like, oh, you have to do this. And they were giving me all of these impossible feats. And I was like, every hurdle you give me, I'm going to jump over. I'm Usain Bolt, sister, if you want me to be, okay? I'm jumping, I'm running, I'm sprinting. Nobody's stopping me. But I did it, and it didn't happen the way that I dreamed or imagined or hoped for it to happen. Let me tell you all something. You're going to lose some things. You cannot take everything with you. Um, I Gina, whatever your moves are, whenever you plan on doing your thing, I guarantee you, I know you sitting there talking about, okay, what am I going to shed? What do I have to? You have to
Yes.
lighten your load. You have to, unless you have all the money and whatever. I'm speaking for those who use the excuse of not having any money. You are the same ones that defend America and talk about all the benefits and how they take. You have to get smart. Go ahead. Okay, fine. If you're somebody that's dependent on all of, make it work for you. Then stop complaining. The hair, go natural. Leave the wigs, the weaves, or whatever. Well, buy a wig, okay, if you must. Leave the weaves alone. Stay out of the salon, okay? If you want your nails to look pretty, okay, why don't you just get some gel polish and polish your real nails? The polish will last long. Just, stay out. Please, this is about your children. As moms and as parents, we make sacrifices. So you have to, like, take yourself out of the way a little bit and do what you must for the benefit, for the well-being of your family and the generations come for your future. I mean, it's if you want it bad enough, shut up, get to thinking, get to working, search for Uhuru, support African Black Star, yeah, African Superstar, support her, get off the freaking YouTube though sometimes, save the videos, go back and watch
Do
them.
something.
If
Yes.
you go to bed at 9 o'clock every night, okay, well, spend a half hour watching you or hour watching, but spend the whole day planning and executing. Shift your energy, shift your focus. You have to, and it will happen. And I mean, I may be hurting feelings, but there is no excuse, none whatsoever. Like I said, if people knew what my circumstances were, and I have a feeling Brandon isn't watching. Brandon, this is for you. I understand that your intentions are very good. Um, if you go back and listen, you'll actually hear that I actually said some of the things that you said. But you and a lot of our brothers and women out there who like to bash single mothers or women that are not married, there are more than a million reasons why a woman might be single or why she might be um, unmarried. And why do you always hold women fully accountable?
Hmm.
Why? Both men and women in the diaspora have a whole lot of freaking mental rehabilitation that needs to be done. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not trying to argue with, I'm saying to all of you out there who say, oh, I'm married. Look, behind closed doors, just because you're married does not mean that everything is perfect. It doesn't mean that somebody was on my Facebook today saying they've been married for 11 years and his heart is in Africa and she's too Americanized and whatever. 11 years about to go down the drain. That's a marriage of 11 years. They're about to separate because they have different ideologies. Different things matter to them. They have different purposes. You don't know what people's situations are. So as of now, for as many people that hears, I'm begging, I'm pleading. Instead of us using so much energy to talk about, oh, single mother and you this and you that, or unmarried woman, and oh, you man, you misogynist this, and you that, yada, yada. Look, you're going to get nowhere tearing each other down. The more you try to tear down the next one, you're tearing down yourself because that's one more divide that you put in. That's one more spirit. Or see, thankfully, I'm freaking tougher than steel and hotter than fire. Nobody can put me down. After all the things that I've endured in life, there's nothing in this world that can crush me. Okay, I've been crushed, killed, gone to hell, and resurrected. So I don't care what people have to say at this point. I know my focus and my vision. But I'm here to say it's time to stop bashing the woman, period, whether she's American or African or Caribbean. It's time to stop bashing the man, period. Solution, shut up. Help a sister out if you have a problem with her way of thinking. Or if you don't like her living, offer her something. I don't know what, don't ask me, but we enter people's lives for a purpose. All of us. When you walk in down the street and somebody smiles at you and you go, Isabella, that must be looking cute. That, you know what I did? That raised your frequency. That person entered your life for that brief second to serve that divine purpose for that moment. It just shifted your whole day. You know what I'm saying? Because you was in the mirror looking on, oh, my hair, my curls, right? And you get out there and everybody's compliment everybody. Purpose, no matter how small or big. Focus on how you can be of service or serve a purpose in your brother or your sister's life. Stop all of this bashing. Oh, if you're not married or if you don't live in Africa. Listen, I didn't live in Africa before I started telling people to come to Africa, and I'd never visited Africa before I came to Africa. Since I left America to come to Africa in March, I have been 5 countries. Okay, me, never visited to Africa. And I used to tell people all the time, oh, you need to go to Africa. You know why? Because what? Spend more time doing my research, being in tune, focused, listening to God, listen to the spirit, whatever you want to call him. I don't want to offend people, right? Because that's what matters most, not what everybody else has to say. You figure out what you want to do and you go for it. Some people need to go and visit, yes, to figure it out. Some people are impulsive. Some people move off of instinct and intuition. Me, I'm instinct and intuition. Spirit saying, yo, make a move. I make it no. No, wait, that's me. You understand what I'm saying? I had never visited. So I get to say I spent a whole 15 hours in Morocco. Okay, I was in Nigeria. I got to walk through the marketplaces and walk the streets of Benin and Togo and Ghana. 5 countries. You understand? And I'm going to go back. I'm going to Sierra Leone. Nobody's stopping me. Do I have a bag of money? No. Is it coming? Yes. Do I always eat? Yes. Are my children always fed? Yes. Do I have what I need? Yes. You know what I have? I live in a big rotted 4-bedroom house with a maid's quarters and back storage room and second kitchen, big fancy manicured lawn. Me, who left America and didn't have shit. Okay, excuse me. So enough of the excuses. And that's the first time I've ever put so much personal information about me on about. I'm hurting. I'm hurting for my people. I broke down today and cried. And I was like, I said to my son, this is why I don't watch this stuff. This is why I don't watch this stuff. I saw a clip. And when I do, every once in a while I do, and I'll post it. But when it comes to children and these police killing children, it moves me. It was the police that shot the 13-year-old that was autistic. And there was a recording, and he said, after they shot him, they fired 13 shots or something, or 14 shots or something like that at him. He said, I don't feel well. I'm not feeling well right now. And then he said, could you tell my mother I love her? And I was just like, yo. And let me tell you, y'all going to see all you guys who like to talk shit about Fafumilai or whatever. I do. Let me tell you something. Remember, I told you guys, get your children out of that pit of fire, out of that hellhole. Get them out. Do you understand? Especially if you have boys. Do you hear me? Get them out. There are no excuses. There's always a way. Always. You know, we are not an original people of limited thinking. Our ancestors, our creation, are limitless thinkers. I mean, we created everything great that exists. Our blood, our ancestors, everything that exists that we depend on today, we created. The internet was created by a Black man, by an African, by a Nigerian. It's Uber, you know, simple old Uber that we driving around in African. I mean, go down the list. If you go to Kemet and on the Egypt Kemet and you look, they manifested it because they saw it. Then it became image, and then it actualized. That's what we do. You picture what it is that you want and just do it. Get everything and everybody else out of your mind. For those of you Turtle Island people, and we were here first and whatever. Yeah, we were here before slaves, but we were in Africa first. I posted a video on my, and I shouldn't have said it like that, but we were here before our enslaved ancestors got here, yes, but we were in Africa first. Do you understand that? I posted a video on my Facebook. If you want to go. Ifafumilayo, Adwa, or Shinola. And it talks about, it gives a, you'll see it. You know, I didn't post much after that. But this limited thing, we spend too much time throwing toxicity at each other because you disagree with their lifestyle. You disagree with their stop, because you're pulling yourself down. Whatever you put out, you bring it, it's coming right back to you. That's just the way that it works. So all this flipping ignorance and you trying to school this person and discipline that person. We're an adult. We're adults. And I really wanted to talk like this yesterday with that young man that came on. Like, listen, I'm not your wife. I'm an adult, yes, but I'm not your wife. So I'm not going to speak to you the way that your wife will. And then, you know, a couple people said their husband wouldn't talk to them like that either. Let me tell you something. We're adults. We need to speak to each other. It doesn't matter. You don't make everything personal. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Make it universal. It's time to conquer. There was a time we conquered, we roamed and ruled everywhere on this flipping globe. That's what we have in us. Remember that. Get home. Get out of that place. And I'm going to simmer for a minute. Simmer down. All right. I'm a cool for a minute. I have to collect myself. I don't usually get like this, but I'll
Guys,
mute my mic.
If you want to call in, again, if you want to call in, we'll take a couple more callers. I know it's almost Jenna's bedtime over there in the UK. I know it's her bedtime. And Kai's in the chat room too. I know it's her bedtime too. Send me an email, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. If you guys want to call in, we'll take a couple more callers. Again, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. Go ahead and call in. Send an email. We'll take 2 more calls. All right, go ahead, Fafuma.
I've held my peace for a long time, certainly because I don't believe in being argumentative like that and whatever. But you know, you have to stand up for yourself and stuff. There's some people in this chat who are very, you know, they come all the time. And I just want you to know that you're seeing the sly comments and stuff that you make. One moment you're bigging up the person, and the next minute, because you think they're not paying attention, you're talking trash about them or whatever. And I'm going to call it right now because I want it to stop. Because if I were to come back in a manner that, I mean, I could to kind of, you know, it would hurt you. And that's not my objective. Actually, no, I'm not going to call the name, but there's maybe 1 or 2 people, you know, you like to say certain sly things about me or make some nasty jokes or whatever. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself. The moment you all start to be more real with yourself and more true to yourself, okay, it's the moment your life, you'll be happier too. Stop spending so much time trying to make other people feel bad. Stop spending time just making fun of people because you just want them to feel bad. There's one thing, you can make jokes, you know, and everybody laughs about it, but with the intention of trying to put people down, it's toxic. And let me tell you something, me, if I feel me like I'm sending it back to you. Stop doing it to your brothers and sisters. Okay? If you understand what my brother Dinus is about, okay, let's help support that move. Searching for Uhuru, just to remind you what Uhuru means. It's inner peace. And it's about helping all of us to achieve that too. So either be a part of it or jump ship. How about that? All right.
Okay. African Superstar, you turned your camera off. What you doing back there? African Superstar, what you doing?
Hey. I'm here.
You getting ready for bed?
No. I'm here, man. I'm here.
All right. So guys, if you guys want to call in, email is
it's been a minute since I did a marathon live stream like this.
Yeah. Well, we won't be on. Like I said, we'll take like one or two more callers. Again, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. If you'll like to call in.
But to get back to first of all, I just want to say Fafu Malayo, that was just an absolutely remarkable feat that you did, and I really commend you for being transparent, because it's not easy to come out here and share your details and things like that, and so again, that was very, very remarkable. I talked to you off of the on Facebook, and I'm very, very proud of you, and that took a lot of courage to do that and bring your family. But honestly, a lot of the things you talked
Thank
about,
you.
being a mother and your heart bleeding for your children and you understanding just how dangerous the environment is, compelled you to find a way and make a way and try to utilize your resources. And I think ultimately that's what we're trying to convey on this channel, on our social media, which is you need to think about the bigger picture. If you love your kids, you should try to set the stage for them. I think our parents, tried to do what they could do to give us a better life. And now we are that generation that is making decisions for the well-being. And I know, I've seen your sons, some of your sons on your Facebook, and hands down, for them to be on the continent is a much safer environment, and they can have, freedom, and they can create bonds and bond with the community instead of kind of like the toxicity that goes on in the West, so
Right.
I know that it was very challenging, because it's challenging even, for me, trying to work out my details. And I can only imagine having to, the journey that you took. And I remember you told me you took the bus, and all these kind of things. And it's just remarkable. But I mean, you did it. That's the beautiful thing. It's like you took the dream.
And it was my ancestors, the ones
Girl,
that function in the blood and the spirit, not the bones.
you took the dream and you actually implemented it. And you went from someone who had not ever been to the continent and, was ignorant, obviously, just because you don't know. We all were before we headed there. And you went from that to now you're living there. You're getting accustomed to it. You're thriving, you're surviving. And I just, I'm so excited for you. I look forward to visiting with you in Ghana. You have my word that definitely I will do that. And, if anything,
you're welcome, more than welcome.
Yeah, if anything I can do to support you, or utilize my platform to help you, then I will definitely do that, because you really came out on a limb tonight, and I appreciate it. Every time I've seen you on social media, you're always trying to, mend relationships and bring people together and smooth over the wounds. And, don't mind these immature people. See, on my platform, they can't come out on my platform, but
no, I don't mind them. I'm just tired of the BS, man.
Basically, it's just that hateration. When people see that you're about that life, and you have a situation where other people utilize that same situation for excuses. Like, I have children, I don't have a lot of resources, but you said, okay, you know what? I'm still going to work something out. I'm still going to finagle this system to get something out the deal. So, they can talk all they want. They're keyboard cowboys. Okay. So that's what it is. Meanwhile, people are getting, finding their way to the continent. So I think that supersedes any, harsh words in the chat room. Because at the end of the day, we could just block you, and then you have no more voice. Right. That is very easy. But we're doing actual, factual things in real life.
Right. Right.
So
exactly.
Job well done to you. If from
Thank you.
Job well done. Job well done.
And I just want to thank you. I just want to touch on you said, people using or saying, oh, I have children, so therefore I can't go, or it's harder. Your children, and just to sum it all up, your children should be your number one driving force. Once you become a parent, father or mother, single or married, coupled, whatever, or just having children in your life, that should be your first and foremost motivation, like your priority.
Hold on, my bad.
Main driver.
My bad, Fluff. Oh, okay, Gina, you did a wardrobe switch. You put on a new jacket. My bad. I'm sorry. I just noticed that. Go ahead, Papa.
Dinus likes this
Oh, when the
jacket.
camera went out.
Dinus
When the
likes this
camera
jacket.
went out.
Dinus likes this jacket. That's why.
That's
Dinus has his own Black Lover Stay Single shirt that he's not wearing right now. We actually
Okay.
sponsored the shirt from the AfrikanSuperstar.
Someone.
Go ahead, Papa. Go ahead.
Oh, you okay? Cool. So listen, those of us who have businesses, entrepreneurship stuff going on, support. This is how we're gonna do it, and use your skills and your crafts. Start. Okay, you want to talk about economy, entrepreneurship? It could be anything.
Facts.
I'm willing to have conversations with people about entrepreneurship. Yeah, that's something I think. Dinus, I want us to do a show about entrepreneurship, not just cryptocurrency and this, that, and in the business, in the what's corporate business world. I want to do something. If not with you, then Gina. And so I just saw really quickly, and I see another guest has come. Oh, Mr. Piper.
Hey,
someone said stop letting. I'm good, thank you. Someone just said to stop letting the Chinese. Stop letting the Chinese. Stop using the Chinese or are colonizing Africa as an excuse not to go. Well, hurry up and get here so you can do something about it. That's all I'm gonna say. Cool.
Firebrand, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on, Dinus. How's everybody?
Good.
Good, thank you.
Oh, I think the brother froze up.
Oh no.
Brother, you're going in and out. You froze up.
Okay, I hope you can hear me now.
That's a little bit better. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, what I was going to say is this show is fire. The lawyer was great. And what these two young ladies had to say is just really on point. I think us as a lot of us as men want to just drop the whole load and blame Black women for what's going on and saying that they're not accountable. But in actuality, by us blaming them, we're not holding ourselves accountable, and it's one of those things where while we spending that energy, because I hear so many people saying, well, use your natural hair and blah, blah, blah. But, if we know our history in Africa, they've been putting all kinds of different ornaments and using hair in their hair for millennia, so this is not a recent thing.
Yeah. Mr. Pryor, I just think the problem is, especially with some of the hair, I don't think they were importing it from India.
That's why I was just getting ready to say that. If I was going to say anything about putting hair in your head, I would say be careful what you put in your hair, because the energy from that dead person is going to be on your head. That's the only thing I would comment about that. Other than that, it's not my place to speak, because see, we're living in this foul land, and a lot of our women can't go to work with their hair natural. They will get fired.
Right.
So you trying to do what you
Well, that's why you buy a wig. Stay out the salon, save your money.
Oh, I agree with you, but I'm not going to have that argument. That's for you guys to talk about.
You don't start, Mr. Piperbrain, because they be tripping about the hair. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not my argument to have. That's between the women to have that argument. Okay.
They act up about the
my
hair.
argument would be with the brothers, what they, what we do wrong. Not with the women. But and one other thing I wanted to point to, because I'm making my escape route too, my plan too. I talk with my friends a lot, and they're frustrated. They're talking about a civil war coming up, and I'm like, well, I tell you about this, and you guys don't want to listen. How are you going to have a civil war with people that's been preparing for years, and you're just talking about getting your guns now? It's crazy. You know, it's time to leave. But you know, like I had mentioned to you the other day, Gina, is I stopped talking to people about it because they ain't gonna listen, and they're just gonna think you crazy and make you doubt yourself. You know, so the only counsel that you can really have is between you and the Most High. You know, that's it. You know, maybe one friend or some people that are like-minded, like you guys. But other than that, it just, we're getting to the point where we're talked out about it. You know, and I love the opinions that you were given. I thought they were very valid. And Dinus, I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know, it's been a minute.
When you called me about a month or so ago, I appreciated that call.
Yeah.
But I'm working behind the scenes to get out.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Okay.
And you know, I like what you're doing, and just keep up the good work. And this show was fire. That's all I got to say.
We appreciate it, Mr. Private Brain.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
Thank you.
Aphrodisian, go ahead.
Okay, so just wanted to pay my respect to you brothers and sisters, and I caught the live in the middle because here we have situation. Here I'm in France actually, and we are getting into a situation with you know, this lockdown stuff and the masks, the like mandatory masks and things like that. And we have the same type of discussion that I hear here and there, whether it's in England, whether it's in United States, that should we organize and arm ourselves? But the problem is, in France, we don't have, you know, the constitutional right to bear arms. So that's another matter. That's another matter. And actually, things that tend to be done is like self-defense classes, things like that, for men and women and children, and also to push people, or at least invite people into gardening or things like that, because people are really dependent on you know, department stores and this kind of stuff. So we need to really switch. You know, we need to really switch our minds here, because a lot of people are still stuck into the, you know, religious stuff, and do not even believe that they didn't even expect the lockdown. They didn't they don't even realize about the vaccine stuff, and relocation in Africa is most of the time not even in the plan. So just wanted to really support the work, because I follow you for a while now.
Thank you.
And really thanks to you, and thanks to the sisters, because I had the chance to listen to your interventions, and you're absolutely right. We need to be cautious with our words. We need to be cautious with what we put out and what we will come in also. So, that's
all right, brother. Brother, where are you from though?
So I'm born in Congo, actually.
Congo, okay.
But I've been raised in France, and I live in France currently.
Okay, cool. I need to get to Congo. I want to see the Bakuba people. Bakuba.
Yeah. That's great. They got a great word, and actually that's something very interesting, because most people know about, you know, Congo Brazzaville and Congo Kinshasa.
Yeah.
But actually, Congo used to go from Central Africa to pretty much Angola. Actually, and they have a common culture. Like there is a fire. You know, the Olympics.
Right.
The Olympics, you have the fire that burns, you know, that people come with a stick and put fire on.
Right.
And actually, that's something that comes from Congo, actually.
Oh, wow.
And you have that into the Cuba, but you have also that into Congo Brazzaville, into the Teke group. And that's a fire that was usually kept by virgins, princess or girl from the you know, royal family, and girls could leave this position whenever they would come into marriage.
Oh wow, cool.
Mm.
All right,
So,
brother.
definitely go there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, brother. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank
Thank you for calling.
All right, Global Green Book. You're the last one. Go ahead.
Greetings, family. Greetings. Can you hear me?
We hear you just fine.
Okay,
Hi.
great. I kind of been in and out of the live tonight because I was at work, but I came in on the tail end when the sister was talking about just getting out of this, out of the the belly of the beast, and it resonated with me with her children because twice I tried to leave this country with my children when they were little, went basically to Ethiopia, and fear, I guess fear kind of got in the way of that. And so what happened was and then, also the dynamics of my family situation with my ex and my son, because, my son was with a different person than my daughters. And I wasn't really willing to leave him in the West as a young man. And his father was not, we split because our mindset kind of went into different directions. I was focused on Africa and he was focused on economics. And it did well for him because he did, was one of those few that they allowed to go up into the financial, 1%.
Right.
And I was in the opposite direction because my focus was educating my children in their African culture and not getting caught up on certain things. So fast forward, keeping my children here, and even with me homeschooling them, keeping them around African-centered families, keeping them, we tried at Rastafari for 20-something years, feeding them as much as I can to keep them out of the ballhead mindset of the West, caught up in, sex, drugs, music, alcohol, the whole spectrum. My children are now adults, and the very things that I try to keep them from, as much as you possibly could, is now I'm fighting to save them from that. And at this point, my children are adults. So when they're children, getting them into a place where it's about family, about respecting your elders, where it's an entire society doing that, and just not you, and you being ridiculed for being the weirdo, the African mama, you're depriving your children, and your children, in the once they're in it, they don't think they're strange or different. But then when they have to, eventually you end up having to intermingle with society, and then they're the weird ones, that the outcasts, and then they want to be accepted, and it's a challenge in a society where that doesn't value. First of all, doesn't value you as a human being, doesn't care about family values, but it's all about economics and finances and materialism, and not caring about their elders, and it's hard as a single mom to because I did it by myself, and I'm not blaming the man for not being there, because it works both ways. I ended up doing it by myself because I married African men who came over here in the West and got caught up in that spiral, got turned out on drugs, end up in the prison system. So
sisters, are you saying African men from Africa who immigrated here got caught up in the
yes.
BS? Oh wow.
So this
may I interject,
will
sister?
twist your mind. Will twist your mind. Yes.
That's just one out of the many millions of reasons why a woman may not be married or has become a single mother. There's so many reasons, and we try. So if you're in touch with your femininity, or you know what your role is as a woman in a relationship or a marriage, you're going to put down. That's what we do. But sometimes it doesn't work out. It's not enough. But that's just one of those million reasons. So I commend you. I
Yeah,
commend you.
I would
And the
never
you
bash
know,
those
yeah,
men. I would never ever bash those men because we
yeah,
didn't work out.
yeah,
Their
right.
lifestyle wasn't for me, and my lifestyle wasn't for them. Not that one is better than another, but we had different roads and different paths. And because those are the children, those are the fathers of my children. You know, it's just I allow fear and another human being control my movement. Honestly, I felt if I would have made that move when my children were young and left it to God, you know, for my son, because I gave my son to his father because it came to a point where I really felt he needed a man to groom him. I can be the mom, you know, the nurturer as long as I possibly can. But fear of leaving him alone in the West and not being with him and not really trusting God and trusting his father to the full, I kind of, you know, I did it in for the rest of my family. So
You did what you thought
I
was
thought
right. You
I
did what
did
you
what
knew
I,
how to do.
yeah,
And again, I commend you for that because you as a woman cannot raise a boy to
yeah,
be a man. You can raise him to be a decent human being and
exactly.
pray that he becomes a good man. It's,
But
you know,
anyone who can get out while their children are young, do it. Do it.
right.
Do it because this country is very toxic. So now I'm at that same point where I'm preparing to leave, and one of my daughters got caught up in, you know, in this country, women have a tendency, you know, to be physically abused, sexually abused, mental health issues. I mean, it's real for our community. And a lot of times these doctors here, the first thing they want to do is pump drugs into you, get you addicted, and get caught up in, you know, and when you're an adult, it's so much I can say to help. So now I'm at a point where I'm like, let me get to Africa. Let me create something there, bring my children there as much as I possibly can as an adult, and just trust that God will find a way and not move in fear anymore. But to heal in an insane asylum is insane. This place is an insane asylum, and you can't heal in some place that is insane because all it's going to do is cause more toxicity, you know, and it's the never-ending cycle. And for me now, I'm looking at my grandchildren. I have to find a safe place, a safe haven for my grandchildren, if nothing else. And I just tell everyone, get out while you can.
Mm,
And
absolutely.
I like what you said. I like what you said. Maybe not your children, but your grandchildren. Those are your seeds too. That is the generation that's coming up. At least if you go by yourself and create the safe haven, when they start saying "Mama, Mama," you know we always cry "Mama," you know, or, you know, come
And,
on home, come
and my
on,
and my
I got it. You
children,
come,
no
pave the
matter
way,
what they're
right?
going through, they always come to me. They come to me. I'm like a security blanket, but I can't help them when I'm drowning. I'm drowning here. So I got to go someplace. So you know what they say when you get into the airplane, the first thing they tell you is to put on your oxygen mask and then you can help your children. I am dying, drowning here. So I got to go save myself and then I can help my family. And I tell anyone, if you can do it, do it. Do it now. Make an exit plan. You know, I was planning this 3 to 5 years. It has been moved up. I'm like, now is the time to go, you know, because there's nothing here. Babylon is falling. I'm sorry, it is falling. We have not seen the worst yet, and I don't want to be here to deal with it because it's not going to be a healing situation. We have never. This place was not created for us. It was not created for us to succeed here, to heal here, unless we would give up some part of our soul. And I'm not willing to do that. And I don't think any of us should. That's all I have to say. I just want to I always come and watch your show, you and all you all. And I don't know, what tonight, it kind of resonated with me. And I'm learning to move with spirit. And if spirit tells me to say something, to say it, no longer hide my head and be ashamed. It is what it is. you know, because we're
That's
all
it.
going through trauma, and my story, your story, it may help another person, because a lot of, and then and the whole thing of us bashing, because I always get bashed on too. Men love to come bash on women with children and single, and especially if you have multiple partners. You know, life happens, and we have to stop that. We got to start building each other. Africans here, Africans in the continent, men and women, we have to stop bashing each other, because people hurt people, and we're walking around hurt because that's a lot of damage going around. And instead of bashing them, we have to figure out a way to uplift them, speak life over our brothers and sisters, speak healing. You know, we were bound, our mouths were bound when we came here for a reason, because our tongues and our words have power. And when we speak something, we speak it into existence. So if we're speaking negativity, that's going to keep happening. I'm sorry.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Take your moment and breathe. She said, that's why our mouths were bound when we came here. Because when we speak something, we speak it into existence. And that's what I was speaking to. And I said, our ancestors, we are the manifestors. It's not hard. It's really not. It becomes hard when you allow distractions and other people speak against what you're trying to do. Once you have a vision, this is what they'll tell you. Okay, I'm gonna put a secret out there. It's, it's not a secret anymore, but it used to be that the secret of manifestation from our people, not the law of attraction and the secret book people, they got it
No.
from us. It
Right.
was, here was the equation was to think it and then imagine it. And the key word is image, imagine. The root word of imagine is image. If you can see it, better yet, if you can draw it on the picture, that's where the concept of the vision board came from. But once you start using the energy, the ashe in your hands, with what we call in Ifa, your afoshe, the manifestational power of your tongue, that along with the energy in your hand, and right, okay, let's talk about alchemy. There we go. We manifest. It is not hard. Let's do away with all of the religious talk, the spiritual. Yours is this and yours is that. Let's deal with individual work here now. Let's just take yourself out of everything. I want this. You visualize it, okay, and go get it.
Right.
The only the only place that you should be speaking it out into is your own personal atmosphere. In your prayers, your ancestors too, whatever. Write it. Visualize it. If you can't draw, so what? Find a picture, draw it, whatever. But if you're a visual person, the type of person that every time someone's telling a story, you're seeing the whole thing. You weren't even there, but you just picture it. The whole story is it's so entertaining because you can just see it. Okay, you have the power to manifest very easily. That is a God-given gift given to all of us. Okay, so utilize it. Speak it in yourself. Speak it into your prayer, whatever your spiritual belief system is, whatever. Use your words, speak, not to the world. We don't need to do predictive programming. We don't need to put everything in a movie to make it manifest and affect the masses. That's for those who don't have the power to do it with just their own spoken word and imagery. We have that. So what you just said a while ago is everything. Our mouths were bound because we spoke things into existence. They were afraid that we would curse them, or because but before they started taking us, they were witnessing the natural, I'm going to say the word, but the magic that we have inside of us. They were witnessing it.
Right.
And they said, oh, if they could do this here, imagine what they could do in our lands over there, in our sweet, sweet America. We need them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They needed our power. We are powerful people. They needed our power. They needed our strength. They needed our brilliance. They needed our resilience. They needed our endurance. They needed our magic. And I'm just using that for lack of better words for those of you who reject words like that. But they needed us. And now we need each other. We need ourselves. We need to take our shit, excuse my French, that they took us captive for, and take it back to where we got it from and put it to use there. We
Yeah.
need to, I'm going to sound funky to some people, but no, we need to go and save our brothers and sisters that are dying and suffering at the hands of colonialism. We need to remind them. We need to, and we need to learn from them, and they need to learn from us. But that was everything.
Well, thank you for having me, Dinus. I
Thank you,
appreciate you.
thank you.
I
No,
kind of, yeah.
no problem, no problem. Jenna, did you switch backgrounds? I felt like you switched backgrounds.
Dinus, man, why you all on me, man? Let me do my thing, man. You're watching me too close, man. You're watching me too close.
Did you switch backgrounds? Did you switch backgrounds? That was
Listen,
you did?
this is the African Superstar, okay? It does its own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It does its own thing.
What we'll do, we'll go ahead and start closing out. Anything? Oh, Ms. Global Green Book. Anything else you'd like to share in closing?
No, that's all I really have to share. I just, just let's speak life over each other. We have a healing process, and as long as we speak against one another and not speak words that are going to benefit us for our empowerment, it's just a waste. It's a waste, and we need to stop wasting time, because division was created for that reason. Because as long as we are divided and we are fighting amongst each other, we will never reach our potential, our highest potential. And we have to start with speaking life over ourselves and our brothers and sisters.
All right, sister. Thank you for joining.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And real quick, guys, before we completely close out, just one more time, join us, everybody. Come and join us in Sierra Leone for the. We're going to be celebrating Independence Week in Freetown. So everyone, come with us. Come and join us. We're going to have an awesome time. Food, flights included, everything. Just all you got to do is meet us in Atlanta. Just meet us in Atlanta. We're going to be flying out of Atlanta, and we're headed to Sierra Leone. So that's what we're doing, April 21st to the 30th, celebrating Sierra Leone Independence Day. We have a lot lined up. We're going to have fun. Y'all, it's time to travel, get back out in these African streets. Let's get back in these African streets. So come and join us in Sierra Leone, everybody. Go to searchforahuru.com or email me, uhuru@searchforahuru.com for details. Again, Sierra Leone, April 21st through the 30th. Let's get it cracking, everybody.
Can I just say something to African Superstar right quick, please?
Go ahead.
I just want to say that I'm extremely proud of you. And I think I had said something to you in the past before. I speak my mind. When you first started out, and I think I told you a little something like this, but I want other people to hear too. At first, I was like, what is she talking about? Ooh, you were getting, I was like, ooh. And then, I was having conversation with, one or two people, and we were all kind of like, like, yeah, like, okay, you know what? Give us some time. I just want to say that since then, what I would say now to people is you better listen to her. And I know she's about to show you exactly why I'm saying you better listen to her. Like I'm very, very impressed and very proud of you. You have grown.
Thank you.
You proved me wrong. It was like a little bit too soon, because I was taking some things personal, and I was reminded very quickly, you're not supposed to take things personal, but you are a blessing to our people, and thank you for your contribution and the fight. You are one of the warriors, and I appreciate you. Dinus, you already know how I feel about you.
Oh yeah, I love you too.
I love you much. So, I love you, Gina. And, so, and this is the Global Green Book. I love you too. So, I love it. Listen, y'all need to just armor up. It's not time to sit down and be soft. It's time to go point blank.
We're going full force. We are. And I'm so proud of you as well. And thank you so much for the kind words. I know, you know, I think these past few years, like with everything that's been happening in our environment, it has brought this thing full circle, because obviously when I first decided to leave the US, everybody thought I was crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy. People in Africa thought I was crazy. People here in the UK thought I was crazy. And now it's like totally, they're like, wow, okay, I understand now. And they're like, you were seeing, you know, you were kind of trying to think ahead. And I'm just really happy for you. I love seeing my people win. So I'm happy that you were able to get out, get yourself on the continent. And for Green Book, you know, I know it's difficult when you have family members that, you know, you don't want to leave them behind and things like that. But you're absolutely correct. You cannot be a resource to others while you're struggling, while you're drowning, while you're not at your best. And I would say the most powerful thing that any of us can do, and certainly what, you know, Dynas and I try to provide our audience with, is an example of what's available on the continent and how to do this. Everybody has situations. Dynas has a son in the US. You know, Fafu Malayo has her children with her. Green Book is also, you know, has children and grandchildren and things. So we all have our situations to overcome, but it's feasible. And most importantly, it is the best option for us. There is no other safe haven for us anywhere in the world. This extends beyond class, economic background, educational background, prestigious families, whatever. And this is the move. You know, this is the move that can save your life and can change the dynamics of your family. And just like Green Book said, if you have young children, it's critical, you know, to place them in a safer environment so that a lot of those external things do not begin to, you know, deposit themselves in your child, or, you know, or your loved ones. So I commend you, ladies, and I'm glad we had this opportunity to kind of air out how you guys have felt. And I definitely concur. Obviously, you know, my platform, we don't do any no nonsense on my platform at all. It's for the Black intellectuals. And both of the ladies are absolutely correct. We are all one entity, no matter how you feel about it. And so you should always conduct yourself in a respectful manner, and always remember that you can find yourself in those situations that you are so critical of. You think that maybe today it's not your reality, tomorrow it could be. And that's why you cannot go around being cavalier and disrespectful to people. So big shout outs to the channel. Big shout outs to Dynas Demir. Dynas is one of my very good friends, and he's always supported my platform. I have a lot of love and respect for him. Dynas has been doing it since before anybody else was doing it out here. Before it was popular, he was kicking it with the Himba, going to visit the Maasai, traveling to motherland. You are an epic legend, brother. I always support you and love you, and thank you for the work that you're doing here. So I appreciate you guys having me on here. Fafu Malaya, I will be seeing you in the very near future in Ghana, and I look forward to that. Miss Green Book, it's nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
As well to the continent. I wish you well in your endeavors, and thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Dynas, I can't miss this. I'm sorry. Annie, Annie Sekia. I didn't see, I wasn't looking at the comments. You asked if I have a Cash App or a PayPal. I'm training myself to receive now.
Yeah, of course. What's your cash? What's your
my Cash App I'm having problems with, so I'll just give you my email for my PayPal. REN as in Nancy GE55 @gmail.com. So that's Renge55 @gmail.com. RENGE55 @gmail.com. And thank you very, very much for that. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Again, go to dynasdemir.com, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, family. Join us on that tour in Sierra Leone in April. Guys, hitting you up. Come roll. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.
Peace.